Today we're putting the DJI Mic 3 and the Mic Mini head to head to help you decide which best suits your needs. We'll cover what comes included, compare features, and put their audio to the test in real world scenarios so you know which microphone is right for you.
You gotta just press record.
Welcome back to Think Media, Nate here. Now, over the years, we've tested countless of wireless microphone systems, and the DJI Mic Mini has been a favorite of mine thanks to its small form factor and great sound. But now that DJI has introduced the Mic 3, which offers a ton of pro features in a similar size, it begs the question of which one you should buy. Well, let's break it all down, starting with what comes included. When you first get your DJI Mic 3, you'll find a carrying pouch, 2 wireless microphones, a receiver with a touchscreen, 2 removable mounting clips and magnets, as well as 2 different kinds of wind muffs, a USB-C adapter to connect to your phone or computer, charging cable, a new coiled 3.5mm cable with a locking screw to attach to your camera, all packed into this nice charging case. And the price for this kit is $329. Moving on to the DJI Mic Mini, you will also find a carrying pouch, 2 wireless microphones, a basic camera receiver, magnetic clips, 2 different kinds of wind muffs, a USB-C adapter, a 3.5mm cable to connect to your camera, as well as a charging cable, which all fits in a smaller and lighter charging case. And pricing for this kit costs $169. So I want to start off with some of the similarities and differences between these two microphones. Starting off with compatibility, both of these microphones will work with cameras and smartphones and laptops thanks to that USB-C adapter. Both microphones include noise cancellation as well as auto gain limiting, and both of these microphones will natively connect to Osmo cameras like the Action, the Pocket series, or the new Osmo 360. The Mic 3 and Mic Mini now support the new DJI Mic series camera adapter, so you can connect it directly to your Sony camera without the use of a 3.5mm cable. Both have a really solid range of up to 400 meters line of sight, which is a little over 1,300 feet, and we'll show a distance test later on in this video. Now let's touch on some of the differences between the Mic 3 and the Mic Mini. Starting with the design, the Mic Mini and Mic 3 are both small and lightweight. Both feel pretty compact and easy to wear. The Mini has this sort of gray finish that to me feels more discreet than the bold white logo on the Mic 3. Although the Mic 3 has a new trick up its sleeve, and that is a removable magnetic clip design. This is nice because now you can rotate the microphone into a better position or skip the clip entirely and use a magnet thanks to the built-in magnets on each transmitter. And when mounting the magnet to your shirt, I actually like the fact that there is a little bit more surface area. And this allows the microphone to lie a little bit flatter on your shirt and doesn't move around as much. Now taking a look at the receivers, they're pretty different as well. The Mic 3 has a touchscreen as well as a control dial, which will allow you to go in and adjust all your different settings. The Mic Mini, on the other hand, keeps things super simple with just an LED interface. You don't get nearly the same level of control, but depending on the type of creator you are, that simplicity can actually be a plus. Next up is the battery life. Now comparing the two side by side, the Mic 3 will last roughly 8 hours per transmitter, the receiver lasts 10 hours, and the overall charging case lasts around 28 hours, which will recharge the whole system about 2.5 times. The Mic Mini, on the other hand, the transmitter lasts 11 hours, the receiver 10.5, and the charging case packs in a whopping 48 hours, which charges everything 3.5 times. That is a pretty big difference on paper, although when you are actually using them, both of them charge really quickly, and I'm never really concerned about battery life on either units. So depending on how long your shoots are, that extra time might be something you care about or not. Now this is probably the biggest difference between these two microphones, and that is onboard recording. The Mic Mini does not have onboard recording, so whatever is transmitted to your camera is what you're stuck with. The Mic 3 has 32-bit float dual file recording built into each transmitter. Basically, every time you hit record, it saves 2 versions. One is an original kind of raw sort of sound, and the second is an algorithm enhanced audio. So if you want a little bit more clean audio without having to do as much post work, you kind of have both files to work with, which I think is really cool and just gives you more flexibility. But of course, the benefit of 32-bit float is if you get really loud, it kind of helps prevent some of that clipping, as well as if you talk quieter or your volume is just really low, you can boost it up without introducing too much noise. And the DJI Mic 3 goes even further with some pro level features that the Mic Mini does not touch, like timecode support for syncing with cameras, a new lossless mode which gives you even higher quality audio, and the ability to run up to 4 transmitters and 7 receivers at once. Now, most creators won't ever need that, but if you're doing bigger shoots or client work, those things can really matter. All right, so now we're going to do a series of audio tests. That way you can really hear the differences between these microphones. Let's start off with the Mic 3. This is what the DJI Mic 3 sounds like when it's clipped to my shirt. This is what the DJI Mic Mini sounds like clipped to my shirt. This is what the DJI Mic 3 sounds like when it's out in front of me. This is what the Mic Mini sounds like when it is held out in front of me. And here I attached the wind muff onto the DJI Mic 3. And here is what the Mic Mini sounds like with the wind muff attached. And this is what the DJI Mic 3 sounds like inside the reporter handle. And this is what the Mic Mini sounds like with the reporter handle. Now DJI has 3 new voice tone presets that change the way the Mic 3 sounds. Right now it is set to its default setting, which is regular. Now I switched it over to the rich voice tone preset, which should boost some of that bass. And now I switched over to the bright setting, which brings some clarity on that high end. So which microphone do you prefer the sound of? Go ahead and leave a comment down below. For me listening back, the Mic 3 comes across very clean and clear, and my voice stays consistent. And I also like that it gives you options to tweak the tone, whether you want a more natural, richer, or brighter sound. And this is perfect if you just want great sounding audio right out of the box. The Mic Mini in comparison sounds a little softer or slightly muffled, but it's still totally usable. You just don't have that same level of crispiness as the Mic 3 delivers. So what better way to do a noise cancellation test than being outdoors in the elements? We got some wind, we got a lawnmower out in the distance. This is the DJI Mic 3 without noise cancellation. Let's be quiet so we can hear that background noise. And now I have enabled noise cancellation on the DJI Mic 3. This is what it sounds like. All right, so now I switch over to the DJI Mic Mini. This is no noise cancellation. And now this is noise cancellation applied. So we're gonna do an audio distance test between all 3 microphones. Right now you are listening to the DJI Mic 3. Now this has a range of 400 meters, around 1,300 feet, which is a crazy far distance. I'm not even I may be 100 feet away now, which is a crazy far away to be from the microphone. But I'm gonna turn around, see if the audio still holds up. A lot of times microphones will cut out if you turn around, but at this distance, it seems like it's still holding up quite well. And keep walking here. Yeah, this is a crazy range to be at, but here is the DJI Mic 3 at this crazy long distance. Now we switch over to the DJI Mic Mini. Now this also has a range of 400 meters, which is again, crazy long. Now, one downside of the Mic Mini is there's no backup recording. So if something were to drop out, you're kind of out of luck. You really need to rely on the transmission to make sure that it holds up and it sounds good. In my testing though, it sounds pretty good. Let me turn around here and check 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and come back. Seems like it holds up pretty darn well. So I think regardless, most of these systems and normal use cases, it's gonna sound just fine. It's gonna hold up extremely well. Now I wanted to answer a few different questions that I got on the DJI Mic 3 review. You can check that out in the link in the description down below. But one question here is, will this work wirelessly with an iPhone over Bluetooth, specifically using the stock camera app and not the Blackmagic app? Well, I tried connecting over Bluetooth with my phone in several different times. It just would not work. It's supposed to work and connect, but I had real trouble doing that. On the DJI Mic Mini, you could actually connect it over Bluetooth. But regardless, I would not recommend connecting over Bluetooth. It just sounds really bad, and it's not nearly anywhere near the audio quality you'd get by using the receiver. Which brings us to our second question. Does connecting the Mic 3 directly to the Pocket 3 give you the same quality as using the receiver? Now, for all intents and purposes, in my test, it actually sounds just as good.
maybe it sounds a little bit more processed, like it's applying extra filters, but it's going to sound really good, not at all like the Bluetooth connection. So you actually have a transmitter built into the Pocket 3, the Osmo Action 5, and the 4, as well as the new Osmo 360. And to prove it to you, I'm using the Pocket 3 with the DJI Mic 3, and you get great picture, great sound, and a small little setup. And another question you might be asking is, if you already have the Mic Mini transmitter, can you connect it to the DJI Mic 3 receiver? Unfortunately, we can't kind of have that cross compatibility. It would actually be pretty nice, but you are stuck with using DJI Mic 3 system or the DJI Mic Mini system.
So that brings us to the question, is the Mic 3 worth the extra cost over the Mic Mini? Well, it really depends on what kind of creator you are. For someone who is just starting YouTube and does a lot of travel content and needs something simple and lightweight, and you are on a budget, the Mic Mini is definitely good enough. If you do interviews, multicam shoots, or professional client work and need that backup audio recording for that peace of mind, the Mic 3 is one of the most capable wireless mics you can get right now. So which microphone is right for you? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want a deeper dive into the DJI Mic 3, then be sure to check out this video right here.